Count 3. 1, 2, 3. No spot.
Push it. Come on. Get it.
One more.
One more.
Woo. You gotta have that plate of armor look, and then you have to build the deltoid. You have the medial deltoid, the anterior deltoid, the rear deltoid, or posterior if you want to sound like I'm not exactly a doctor. They do call me Dr. Eddie Muscles. Get hit it from every angle, because then that way the shoulder's fully developed and symmetrical. Branch Warren, perfect deltoids. They just hang off of them. Like maybe 1 or 2 core movements. I already did overhead pressing earlier in the week. I just figured we have this cool hammer strength, maybe load it up and have some fun, even though I did some 500-pound bench presses, I think, yesterday. So we'll see if my vagina grows from outside of my body again. Just an overview of everything we did today. Main reason we went to Big Tex was for 2 reasons. Most important reason, this is really a lot of the really good powerlifters train here. Rob the Savage, another great bencher. I think Leroy is his name if I say it correctly. He's almost 700 pounds, might even be a 700-pound raw bencher. And then Ben Pollock, total 2,000 pounds raw at 198 pounds. And out of 2 of those 3, trained by 2 of the best trainers in the world. One, Josh Bryant, who also trains me, and then Ed Cohen, the GOAT in powerlifting, trains Ben Pollock. Count 3. 1, 2, 3. No spot.
Push it. Come on. Get it.
One more. Even being a baby builder, being around that when people are at that high level, for the same reason I can push heavy poundages as a bodybuilder to add the muscle density. I like to be around that environment to push me. And the second reason that we trained here was to give you a different look. They've got a really cool shoulder press here, so we loaded up that hammer strength shoulder press with 7 plates aside. I guess with the machine added, that's somewhere around 675, but it's on a machine, so it's not quite the same. I already did overhead presses earlier in the week, but I wanted to add that in. And then we focused on the rear deltoids. We did the incline shoulder swings. With 95 or hundreds, I believe. And you did sets of 25. It's more of a partial movement. I think John Meadows was one that started using it, and Josh put it in a lot of the programming. We did that and then moved over to the bent laterals. And I traded on the sets. I think one set I did hands in and then turning like you're pouring a pitcher of water out just to hit the rear deltoids and flush more blood in there. So we supersetted those 2 movements to accelerate rear deltoid development. And then from there, just did the good old-fashioned lateral raises, focusing on each side individually, nothing crazy heavy like 40s. Hey, look at that fucking douchebag. I told him everything he fucking knows. Hey, I don't want another fucking buffet, mate. I like to do them unilateral, like he writes out. Sometimes it'll even be more like a lean away lateral. Each side I can isolate better. Even when I'll do like the seated rows sometimes on those hammer strengths, I can squeeze better and focus more on the muscle, kind of slow it down a bit, and then switch to the other side where I'm not favoring a specific side. Sometimes I can do the Dorian Yates, because that dude was like incredible focus on using both at the same time. Everything was simultaneous. I have to sometimes work each side, maybe because I've always been right-handed, southpaw, you know, I'm not left-handed. That's why even deadlifting, believe it or not, without the straps, I'll switch my power grips just to get more in sync with the body. Posing, start with the left instead of the right, even though they're always gonna say favorite side from what you pose from, just to work on everything. You never know. And then we finished up with a history lesson for all the younger kids that want to be Mr. Olympia. They can't even say who the very first ever Mr. Olympia was. And we did the Scott curls, used something lighter like a 30, and just squeezed, focused on each arm. Did it continuous for close to 40 seconds, and explained why it's called a Scott curl, because it's named after the very first ever Mr. Olympia, Larry Scott.